This is going to be a very important video for you to watch. If you feel at any time like you're uncertain or stuck or just don't have a clear plan for how to achieve what you want in your life, in my world, I'm coaching aspiring self-actualizers, entrepreneurs who are trying to become what they're capable of, or sales professionals who are trying to reach their full potential, or really anybody who understands that there is a pathway to become more, to live a more fulfilling life, to live a more purposeful life, to feel more joy, to feel more alive in their lives. And so today I'm going to give you the 5 to Thrive, the 5 key foundational areas that you're going to need to have in your life to ensure that you're going to succeed in the way you really want to. Many of us live in a survival type of way of living, right? We're dealing with our fears, our insecurities. We're getting through life. Now, if you're watching this video and you're living a better life than that, and you feel like you are thriving in many ways, awesome. Now, I'm going to do is give you some organizational structure for you to think about the key foundational points of your life. Okay, 5 to Thrive. Ready? The first one is a compelling vision. Now, by the way, you might have heard some things here that I'm going to say. So if I repeat anything you've heard, that's only because it's true and it works. I've just organized it in a way that is going to be very helpful. So, number one, a compelling vision, or what I'll otherwise say is the what question. What do you want? Is the first question that I want you to ask yourself. And I want you to ask yourself this question without overthinking it, without putting a lot of layers of limitation on it, without coming into it with your current filtering system. You're going to have to suspend those limitations, suspend the idea of how, we're not at how yet, we're still on what, and just go ahead and answer the question as if anything and everything were possible for you. Like, what if you approach your life from that frame? Everything is possible for you, for me, for anyone who is willing to work for it, like be clear about it, work for it, and then trust the process that you're in until you get the thing you want. And so the first question, point number one, is vision. What do you want? Simple question, not always so simple to answer. And I want you to take a frame as if you were looking at this thing through a 10-year window. Wherever you're at chronologically in your life right now, ideally you're on the ascent. Ideally you're making strides to live a better life and have a better experience of your life. That's in general the people I communicate with are people who want to live a better life. And you've got another 10-year window. Make it 5 if you want. I like 10 because most people measure in days or weeks. We got to measure more like in decades because there's so much we can accomplish in a decade. What do you want? What do you want it to look like? If you had the finest paint and the finest brushes and a blank canvas to work with, what would it look like? Suspending all limitations and limiting beliefs. All right, number 2 is purpose. Now, I can take you a lot deeper into that what or that vision, and I'm absolutely going to on a very specific video for just vision. But today I'm giving you the 5 to Thrive. The second one is called purpose. And the question there is why? Why do you want what you want? What are your reasons for wanting what you want? Because those reasons, that's your fuel. If the vision where you're headed is your destination, your purpose or your why, that is your fuel. Now, of course, I'm sure heard Simon Sinek, Start With Why. He's very famous for having written that book and created the idea of having purpose behind everything we do. In that book, he talks about people don't buy what we do, they buy why we do it. And the same is true for you because you're constantly selling you and everyone else, right? Life is a game of influence and negotiation. And so you're negotiating with yourself all the time. And the only way you're going to win that negotiation is when your purpose is fully aligned, right? Where you have a clearly defined purpose. Okay, number 3 is going to be identity, the who you need to become in order to create and manifest and attract what you want in alignment with your purpose of why you want it is who are you going to become? Now, there is so much out there about unwinding behaviors and self-sabotaging behaviors and limiting beliefs. And today's video is not about that, although I've talked a lot about that and will continue to because that's some real work. Being able to unlimit become unlimited is a very important approach towards living this full, thriving life. And the only way we do it is a shift in identity, knowing what we want, knowing why we want it, and then being willing to become the person who can create it. Number four is going to be where or the environment in which you operate. An environment's made up of three things: your external environment, literally the spaces and places you occupy in your life. Do they energize you or drain you? Ideally, they energize you, but if they're draining you, we got to make some changes. The second part of environment is your internal environment. There's five components to your internal environment. I've talked about this quite a bit. Your five states of being: your mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, and financial state. Very important to check in with yourself. And here's an opportunity to audit, right? The where or the environment is really an audit, okay? And to see where there's some gaps so that you can put some effort and some energy into up leveling your external or internal environment. And then the third part is people, right? People make up our environment. We all know that who we surround ourselves with is who we're going to become. And that's not an easy process because, the growth trajectory, the identity trajectory sometimes means we've got to shed people from our lives, find some new people who help elevate us. And maybe we're in that messy middle where, the people we used to hang with aren't right for us anymore, but we're not at the level of the people we want to be with yet. And that's a lonely journey. And so there's an audit of the people in your environment, and there's different types of people. Hopefully you got all supporters, right? Supporters are really what we're looking for: people who cheer for us, people who advocate for us when we're struggling. They're there for us. They're not judging us. They're not criticizing us. And then you've got a whole group of people who are not so useful, although if we use them properly or we learn how to put boundaries in place, we can actually audit our people environment. You got haters, naysayers, enablers, disablers. We'll talk about that more in a later video. I'm just giving you the framework now. And so, again, the fourth key to succeed at any level is an environmental audit. And then fifth is you got to execute. This is the how. Everybody wants to start with how. How do I succeed? How do I live the best life? How do I have a great body? How do I have a great relationship? And in my framework, that's last. It's fifth out of the five keys. First, you got to know what you want. You got to be willing to know what you want with clarity, with belief, with almost kind of like a gratitude that you've already created it, a faith that it's going to happen. Got to know why you want it with clear purpose. You got to know who you're going to become to create it with an identity that matches up and aligns with the person you need to become to create what you want and why you want it. We've got to audit our environment to make sure there's nothing in the way, right? If you're moving down the road with a destination and a purpose and a great vehicle taking but there's a whole bunch of stuff in the way, that's not going to work. So that's the environment. And then fifth is the how. It's execution. It's actually understanding, okay, cool. I got all that foundation set. Now I need a clear plan. And plan looks like this: strategy. Okay. Strategy is applying your focus and attention and resources against all the different choices you can have and making the right choice, like going down the path. I have always taught and believe narrow and deep will beat broad and shallow any day. So you got to pick the right strategy. Then there are tactics or activities that you take that either move you closer to what you want or take you further away, right? We can't spray it all over the place. We got to know the right inputs, the right activities. Then we got to put it on a schedule, man. So many people struggle to manage themselves because people talk about time management. I don't think time management is actually a real thing. You can't manage time. Right now on my clock, it's 11:02 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in July, on July 17th. In fact, I'm shooting this video 2025. And in less than 60 seconds, that clock is going to go to 11:03. There was nothing I can do about that. And then 60 seconds later, it's going to go to 11:04. How do I manage that? I can't manage that. But what I can manage and must manage are my choices within the time I have available to me. So it's not time management, it's choice management. There's a whole conversation I could give you on that. And then it's understanding the basics of execution, a great book that was written, I read many years ago, called The Four Disciplines of Execution. And what that book basically teaches is you have to know your goal for the day. and focus on achieving that goal, even though the whirlwind of the day is going to happen anyway. It always does for all of us. Most of us allow distraction and interruption to take us, but you can't do that if you're in execution mode. Number two is you got to know what your leading measure activities are that create the lagging effect results. Those leading measures are both predictive and influenceable so that your results really are guaranteed. Inputs equal outputs. Third is having keeping a score on yourself, tracking and measuring what you do so that your success becomes predictable. Business is math, success can be math. And then number four is real accountability. We're terrible at holding ourselves accountable sometimes. Sometimes we're good at it, but in general, people are not so good at it. And so having real accountability, something on the line, whether you've got an accountability partner or you've made promises to someone other than yourself. Sadly, we break our promises to ourselves most easily, at least more easily than we break a promise to somebody else, right? So real accountability. And then after the execution, those are the four disciplines as taught in this great book. I encourage you to go read it. The fifth stage of execution is celebration, is winning, and knowing what winning looks like for you every single day. Because here's the thing, you want to put your head on the pillow every night knowing that you did your best work that day. You want to put your head on the pillow at night feeling satisfied, feeling proud of yourself. And frankly, from my perspective, knowing you left nothing in the tank, you left nothing on the table, you didn't hold back at all today. You went all out for your life because it happens one day at a time, 1 hour at a time. And so you got to know what winning looks like for you. You know, there's a whole culture out there of winning and win at all costs and blah, blah, blah. And look, I don't know if that's right or not. What I do know, at least what I've been teaching, is that we all have to decide and define what winning looks like for us individually, inside of our lives, our families, inside the construct of knowing what I want, knowing why I want it, and who I'm becoming to create it. And so if you know what winning looks like and you're doing it consistently, day after day after day, guess what? You become a winner. And it feels great to be a winner, sure better than feeling like a loser. And the truth is, if you don't know if you're winning, you're probably losing. And so defining what winning looks like to you is the final step in the how or execution. Oh, here's a bonus. Number 6 is when. And the answer to when is right now. Right now, friend, is the time for you to build the life of your dreams. Right now is the time for you to stop limiting yourself or being subject to your limiting beliefs or your sabotaging behaviors. We all do it, by the way. Me too. I'm not sitting over here saying I know everything and I got life fully figured out. I have been coaching and helping and supporting people for 20 plus years. So, you know, changed my own life, helped watch and serve and change so many people's lives along the way. And I've taught myself and created this framework, this structure to help people like you who want to become more, who want to experience more, who want to live a fulfilling life, a joyful life, who want to make an impact and a contribution to the world. And you can. There is a proven path. I've just laid it out for you. I hope you found this video to be helpful. Come back and watch this again. Now, I'm going to be taking micro videos on each one of these steps. So we're going to go deeper as I share more content here on my channel. I'll talk to you next time.